I would say, depending on where you are in your career, so I would say in the first 5 years, go deep in your trade, whether it's the machine learning engineering or whether it's the core data science or data and digital platforms. Have that depth, but appreciate the ecosystem and sort of understand, like we talked about, how the rest of that sandwich comes together. And so that get comfortable with business problems, and because no amount of academic training will give you that. They will not give you the imperfect data. They won't give you the business pressure. They won't give you all the trade-offs. Get comfortable with understanding trade-offs. Get comfortable with writing documents and speaking with executives, because ultimately the best tacticians and the best scientists, the most successful ones, are also the ones that are able to have meaningful dialogues, right? With business folks to get impact. So now the first 4 or 5 years have passed. Now you decide which path you want to go, but be really, really good in your core trade, which is the core data science, measurement and statistics and all of that sort of things that go around it. Appreciate the full ecosystem and get comfortable with the process of taking a business problem and deconstructing it into an analytics problem. And this is obvious, but not everybody does that. Like many AI teams, many analytics teams wait for a business guy to tell them, I want you to predict this versus that. There's no dialogue. It's an assignment. And that has to change. And I would say mindset-wise, don't assume. I think one of the biggest pitfalls of teams and individuals is they make assumptions that, well, I thought this had to be done at 5-minute increments, or I thought that I could only use the library of tools that I have available, or I thought that I could not use external data. I didn't even think about it because like we have our own data, or I thought that I had to wait for the master data management initiative to finish before I could get an extract. So it's like, no, you don't have to think all of that. Like you could challenge these assumptions and you could challenge the actual components of the business problem. And I'll tell you, most of the fun and the problem solving starts at the problem definition. A fair amount of the problem definition is ambiguous. And it's really bad if you work on an ambiguous problem and 5 months later you find out that you solved the wrong problem.